in, ready to roll for the start of the second half here from Helena. Riley Corcoran, Austin Parr, and our fantastic SWX team. So happy to bring you college football here on opening day. One of 4 games in the Frontier, the top 2 in the preseason poll. It's the reigning champs, Western, that has some work to do. They held the ball for over 23 minutes in the opening half, Austin Parr, yet they only have 3 points to show for it, and they're in a 7-point hole.
Carroll's going to get the ball to start the second half, and I don't want to jump too far ahead, but this could be possibly one of the biggest possessions just for the momentum factor of this game. If Carroll goes down and scores a touchdown, we're going to see a little bit of desperation maybe from John Junn and that Montana Western offense.
And we've seen him try and put the team on his back, but you're right. It would be to a completely different level. It's the reigning Frontier Offensive Player of the Year, the quarterback for the Bulldogs. He's had the ball in his hands a lot. But it's been Carroll that has stood tall in front of this home crowd. This is their only home game in the first 4 weeks of the season, trying to take advantage of it. Western was such a great year, making the playoffs in 2002. First time doing so in 19 years, but this has been a hard place for them to win. Just 1 win here in Helena since 2004.
And you can see why. I mean, Carroll plays great at home. That is what they are known for, especially under head coach Troy Purcell. That's going to be the biggest thing, we were talking about earlier, is them being able to finish on the road. But for the most part, so far, they've been taking care of business at home for the first half.
Troy Purcell, 4 years leading Carroll. His previous 3, all winning records. We're underway here in the start of the second half as that kick will just drift into the end zone.
That's going to sail out of bounds, or was that a touchback?
Said it just snuck inside the pylon. So Carroll's offense will come out. We touched on it at halftime, but Jack Perka has not been out there very much for the limited plays we have seen. I've been really impressed. He hasn't looked like a sophomore from a poise standpoint.
Absolutely. I mean, he's not going to just take that first read and fire the ball if it's not there. We saw him look multiple times on multiple looks, and he also's got Matt Burgess coming off a big injury to back him up. I mean, if you can set up the running game, that's only going to settle Jack in more. Mr. Perka, or Sunshine, as we like to call him in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
5-2 as a starter last year as a true freshman. Put into that role in the 4th game. It's a handoff. This will be to Duncan Kraft. Try and get the edge of the outside, push backwards for Kraft. He's their leading rusher last year. Just 4 carries for 3 yards. He's been stuffed by this Western front.
Well, if you take a look at the replay, I think Montana Western kind of knows what Carroll wants to do. They want to establish the run there. Their defensive lineman got off the ball so quickly there. Stuffed that hole. Really nowhere to go for Kraft.
So behind the chains now, 2nd and 12. Perka has worked on mastering the offense. It seemed last year when he was thrown into that freshman role, it was trial by fire. Now it's wanting to learn and understand a bit more.
And fire he was. He performed really well last season.
Across the middle, there's the safety valve, Tony Collins. He's got the only touchdown in this game so far. This one, a minimal gain back to the original line of scrimmage. Will set up 3rd and 10.
Love that term, safety valve for a tight end. That is absolutely money.
He secures the catch right across the middle, Collins. You got a 3-time All-Conference and an All-American tight end. That's the guy to go to.
If I'm a redshirt sophomore and, my options aren't open, I'm looking for the biggest guy in the field, and that's Tony Collins.
Tony Collins, his 2nd catch today. He has 980 yards for his career, so we're on 1,000-yard watch for the senior tight end. 3rd and 9 upcoming.
Possibly the biggest 3rd down of the opening half so far.
Carroll 1 for 3 on 3rd down, and they waited too long. Coach Purcell livid as he rips off the headset.
Purcell was pointing at both play clocks. Maybe they were opposite a bit. I'm not really sure, to be honest.
He's saying they weren't synced. Regardless.
Still going to fall on the quarterback's shoulders always. You're always going to fall the captain. He is the captain, appointed captain early in the offseason, Jack Perka.
The 2nd penalty for Carroll. Oh, it's 3rd and a mile. 3rd and 14 officially. Opening drive of this 3rd quarter. Perka with a little time runs out of it. Checks it down. Can Kraft create? Gets a lot of yardage back. But Austin, it's not going to be enough.
Not going to be crafty enough to get the first down. Great play call. screenplay on third down. The Montana Western defense did great at rallying to the football here as you see Kraft catch a screen, reads his blockers really well, but then the outside linebackers close in on him really quick. Carroll comes up short. They're going to have to punt the ball on fourth down.
Just what the doctor ordered for first-year defensive coordinator Riley Martello. In fact, this is his first game calling the plays for the Western defense.
And this is my first game calling a football game.
You guys are right next to each other in the booth together. High arcing punt called for a fair catch by Trey Mounts, and that's where Western will take over with 12:31 to go, and this really is what it's going to come down to. We know this Carroll defense is where they hang their hat. This Western offense is why they've had so much success. John Jund has led this juggernaut to averaging nearly 40 points per game last year, yet they're still looking for their first touchdown. This game's going to be won or lost right here with the Western offense.
Well, you speak about won or lost. I think it's won or lost with this offensive line. They have not been able to block the Carroll College defensive front all game long so far. Let's see if they make any adjustments, if they're still going to try to be run dominant, or if they're just going to let John Jund be the powerhouse that he is.
Jund, the senior from Spring Creek, Nevada, will give this one off to Reese Neville. A Nevada flavor is Neville, and he transferred from Nevada. He's a Nevada native, so it's where their backfield's going from down in Dillon.
Well, this is exactly what we saw in the first half, trying to establish the run. You know, Neville's got, the speed and the quickness and the agility, but when you have four defenders coming at you, how are you supposed to gain any yards? And right there, he lost a yard.
Neville has been bottled up today. 9 carries, 27 yards, but none for more than 7 yards.
I think he's ran a little more horizontally than vertically so far.
The lack of big plays been a huge difference for West. Jund drops back, runs out of time, and another sack. The third sack of the game for this Carroll defense. It comes at an opportune time.
6.5 sacks led the team last year, Mr. Warden. Wasn't going to let John Jund escape that one. I think a couple of times in the first half they were arm tackling. Cannot arm tackle somebody as skilled as John Jund.
Warden 6'4", 260 out of Laramie, Wyoming. A force in the middle, and Western has had nowhere to go. It's 3rd and 13. 4 receivers for Jund. Pressure comes. Jund double clutches and goes down. Back-to-back sacks. And what a play by Jacob Resch, the junior from Billings.
Huge stop for Carroll on third down. That pressure is really mounting. And just what we talked about, that offensive line is failing to give John Jund holes and failing to give him protection. When you don't have protection, no matter how skilled you are, you're going to struggle. And that's what we're watching here with the Montana Western offense.
So it backs the Dogs up all the way inside their own 20. And the field position game could be flipped as a beauty. Calling for a fair catch, going to the ground just in time is Harrison. And with 10:27 to go in the third quarter, it's Carroll flexing their muscles, holding on. They lead 10-3.